What the hex is you guys talking about?
What the hex is going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Wear bobs.
Black Rock, let's do this.
TA with Toby.
Guys, what the heck?
What the hex?
What the hex?
What the hex?
What the
Love
big K? Welcome,
What?
everybody.
Hey,
Episode
gentlemen.
99, the last episode of the year.
oh,
Oh.
I'm down.
And a technical problem. out
And
of the
there
gate.
goes the
I
camera.
was hitting that warp speed we were talking about.
Yes.
Nice.
Engage. Engage. Man,
Oh,
welcome
yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
We got 32 people watching out the gate. Let me say hi to the chat real quick before we go into thing. The Hex Monkey is back. It says, what the heck's Big K as a first. We got Dejan Dougie as a close second, and Mrs. Avalon number 3. Hex on Air is in the house, official What the Heck Supra member.
We'll be giving away the gold, silver, and bronze medals.
That's
to the
right.
Yes.
Wookie on the spot, almost on time. That's right. Little delay. Red Squirrel checking in. Paul Sachs in the house. That's a live crowd we have, you guys. How you doing, everybody? And there we lost. Okay, we have to.
That's the end of our guest.
That was
for
it.
Today. Yeah. I hope you liked it.
Let's try again.
And outro.
Troll. Oh,
That was
man.
a quick year, wasn't it?
Wow, what a year, this 25. And I just wanted to say, what about these markets?
You know, I think Toby will be the first one to say that he called it on the day. There would be a pullback just like this. So, are we concerned? Are we concerned?
Well, yes, because I mean, if you look at this pullback, it's quite drastic. I mean, the whole market just lost $500 billion
Yes.
market cap in a matter of 2 days. So,
Well, yeah, but
welcome to crypto.
Could there possibly be any causality, seeing that the Fed flapped their gums just yesterday?
Yes, I mean,
Jay Powell said a few things about the interest rates and a few things about this and that.
Yeah.
And he signaled that there would only be 2 interest rate cuts next year, and the market was expecting 4. So all hell breaks loose on the S&P, NASDAQ, the crypto world. It's all part and parcel. It's a risk-off moment when you don't understand what the fuck this guy's talking about. Also, the fact that he says the Fed doesn't want to have or cannot have, is not allowed to have any kind of Bitcoin strategic reserve. But people forget, the market freaking forgets that the Fed doesn't own any cheese or salt or oil national reserves of anything other than dollar bills, printing and not printing, bonds and whatnot. So it's a total smoke screen. I don't know if he knew what he was doing by spooking the markets like this all over the damn world, or if he just spoke out of turn, or if the reporter said, "Oh, this is an appropriate question for the wrong guy," right? So
Yeah, Wall Street corrected even stronger. I'm just thinking about all these guys who are now for their first time exposed to the crypto markets. And for us, these dips and corrections are like, yeah, whatever now is a 15% price correction. Everybody in Wall Street going, oh my God. They just bought the Bitcoin top at 108K and everybody's going crazy. Big K, what do you make of the current market dips and the corrections that we're seeing? How do you view all this? Even Bitcoin at above 100K, you being this OG miner guy from way back in the day.
A major miner.
Major miner.
I mean, yeah, that's let me tell you, it's part of it. It's part of it. Like if I start to worry if the correction reaches more than 40%, like a good correction when you've gone up this high in the midst of a bull market seems pretty standard, I mean, I would love to see us rage right through Christmas and the New Year's and everything else, but why not take a dip before that? Why not? I mean, I personally think that, like, if you're looking in short-term stuff, I don't know, the inauguration seemed like a pretty good sell the news kind of event, but maybe not. Maybe we get it the other way. Maybe we dump now and then go up then.
And then it's priced in already. Yeah.
Yeah, that's priced in, exactly, Because, I mean, that's the thing is like, there's a lot of expectations with this new administration, especially in crypto land, and how our expectations how do they usually come out when it actually all settles is like less than less than what you want. You always have rosier beliefs of what's going to happen than what actually does happen. And anything that does happen isn't going to happen on day one. It's not like on day one, this dude's going to like just go buy, $1 billion worth of Bitcoin for the country. Like that's not going to happen, so like you got to temper your expectations and expect other people to be disappointed and sell. I mean, that's how I see all of that working, but that's so like I think that it's pretty on par for the course. There was going to be a dip sometime. It was nice that Bitcoin got all the way up to 108K before it did. That was cool. But yeah. And the only thing that's like, if I had to say, I was expecting Ethereum to be, to make a slightly bigger move before it came back down. I think I was, but not that much. Like I didn't see 5K in the cards until next year sometime.
Yeah, I guess Richard was expecting a different Ethereum price move as well with his investments.
Yeah. Yeah, we're hoping. I mean, we're all expecting some better something there. That's for sure. That would be great.
Did you stick your phone under the dash with a piece of chewing gum, or what's the issue?
Yeah, I should actually. If I had some gum in here, I would do just that. No, I've got this perfect little dash slot that sits right here, but it's only good enough if it's just wedged in there, so it's not. I don't know if they made this car for live streaming. It's not like their intended purpose for the sledge, but
also the slot didn't account for the possibility of even a minor pothole that you hit.
That's true. That's true. And here in Puerto Rico, we have quite a few to deal with. That is true. So
nice.
I'm ducking and weaving over here as much as I can.
But you love it there. You love sunny Puerto Rico.
Oh, I love it. It's awesome. Some people are scared of the driving. I personally love it. It's exciting. It keeps you on your toes. You're always ready for whatever could be coming at you. You gotta be defensively aggressive out here. So I enjoy that, all of it. Even the lines that I had to wait in today, just fine. It's all part of the island process. You gotta do it.
Yeah, just for the audience, you expected to be at home by this time, but then life is lifing and traffic is trafficking, and
Yeah, although I'm doing pretty good. I'm only like one exit away, although there's a massive little blockade here before it, but I'm getting there. I'm getting pretty close. So.
No, that's good. We really appreciate you joining us for our final episode of this year. We even got a super chat here from DJ Dougie. He says,
Aw.
when Bobs. Thank you so much. Maybe not some man Bobs, maybe on this show. But
You know what? I promise Bob's next year. How's that?
Ah.
For $5,
there we
we'll
go.
bring Bob's. Yeah.
But BK, I wanted to go back again to this because what you shared over the years streaming with all of us, and also in the Highest of Stakes documentary, that you are really like the OG miner guy from times when Ethereum just started and Bitcoin was way below $1,000. How did you experience that, or are you even watching the charts when Bitcoin topped above 100K? That must have been quite exciting for you, observing it for so long.
It's exciting, even though as somebody who doesn't particularly hold a ton of Bitcoin anymore, I still feel like the market. It's the way the market works is like that has to move first. And once that moves, then you'll get a lot of other appreciation and some other fun stuff. So
yes,
it's exciting. It's some sort of level of vindication in all of it. When you're like, it's you're a crackpot. For most of your existence in crypto, from 2016 through, even raging, I still heard a lot of scrutiny, whatever you want to call it, naysaying, all the rest from friends, family, and the rest, so some sort of there's definitely some validation that comes along with that. That's pretty neat. Hey, this thing is a thing, and it is something that will be here for a while and maybe worth $100,000 or more, even though people have said that's not going to happen. All that's cool. All that's really cool. It's like I said, some sort of market vindication.
$100,000 is not collectively. It's per token you're talking about. Please say that. Not collectively. The entire amount would be worth.
Yeah, the whole market. Yeah, I mean, that's true. There's a time and place when that was still a big deal. I mean, it was a long time ago, but like still, that's so like we built up to something pretty kick-ass. Something that isn't going anywhere anytime soon. That's pretty cool. I can say that like all of that is awesome, and it's impressive to see prices of things that whether I was a holder or not, whether whatever things that are doing well. It's good to see that.
Yes.
Even
things like XRP
victory.
above $2. That's just great to see, because these guys have been the true diehard XRP believers. They have been diamond handing this shit for years and years and years.
They have.
With
no movement. With a conviction that is impressive. Is this truck for real, man? This dude is for real. Oh my gosh, kidding me.
Let's give us some Chicago
hey, get out of
road
here.
rage.
These motherfuckers over here. Seriously, semi truck just was in like the only turn lane all the way until the very end, and then cut over, cut off. Like just semi truck cutting everyone off. But again,
nice.
Part for the course around here. I see the amount of times a day I see somebody turning left from your right hand lane. It's, like the far right lane, and there's two lanes of middle traffic, and then the left turn lane. They're just turning right across it all, or left across it all. I see that pretty regularly. Oh,
nice.
Okay.
Well, as we know, in the past election, the right won. So obey the right.
Yeah.
Man, BK bringing the action. We get another super chat here from Hex Monkey. Thank you for the $9.99. Man, see, Papa B, we have big, Hex royalty in the building, and we get the super chats. That's how this works. Will BK make a triumphant return to Bitcoin mining if Hex goes to zero? Is his question.
I just decided I'm doing exactly what everyone else is doing, and I'm just going to ride the shoulder here. So I'm actually cutting off this truck. See, there's the semi truck.
Good answer.
I just cut him off.
You have more than one life in the car. Please be careful.
It was actually a pretty calm maneuver right there, where we just, but it did just save me probably 3 to 5. So that's we're getting somewhere here, folks. We're getting somewhere.
On behalf of the grateful community and show, thank you for taking your life in your own hands and shaving off 3 to 5 minutes for us.
Yeah. It was actually it's an unofficial lane that I was using. It's okay.
Well, you
there's
know,
others. There's
when your kids
wasn't
may have a pack of chalk in their backpack, just take it out and just like lean out the door down to the pavement and make your own lane that way. As you're going, just
yeah, there you go.
yeah.
There you go.
Officer, there's a
lane.
lane there. Yeah.
There's already a lane there. Exactly. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
So how else have you been, sir? I mean, I haven't seen you since we streamed a year and a half ago.
Probably a year. Yeah. Wow. I've been pretty
now,
good. I've been pretty good doing some fun hex stuff. We just actually got done with Puerto Rico had a blockchain week, and there's like a few different conferences that were going on. And so you got to see the promo there from it. We decided
at the beach party here. So how did that go?
Yeah. Fantastic, actually. I mean, not only did we have a good showing of Hexkins there, had a badass time. I mean, we roasted a 80-pound pig for this thing.
All right.
It was awesome.
Halal.
Yes, very. We had some potato salad there and some ceviche there for the vegetarians and pescatarians, out there. But
it sounds like the exact
I
same,
like how you say that.
it's the exact same fare that you would find over here on this island in Hawaii. So
you
eat a lot of pork and potato salad and fish with oil on it. That's the same thing over there in Puerto Rico. Okay, cool.
Yep, lots of that stuff. So it was all good. So we had a great time. We made quite a presence at Blockchain Week. We sponsored. So I got some other awesome Hexkins. Crypto Coffee was involved. Another gentleman that's on island here that's a Hexkin as well. He's an ETH whale too. He's an early investor. There's more than one Genesis whale involved in this in Hex. He also was a help with it. We had some other community members. Motley wasn't even there, and the good sport that he is, he threw in $1,000 to make the party happen.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Such a great sport. So yeah, we had some awesome throw-ins from some community members. Had some members of the community I haven't seen in a while come out. Like David Morales, he came on out, and I hadn't seen him in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So it was good to see some cats that I hadn't seen in a while. Meet a whole bunch of new Hexicans. That was cool, and Pulsicans. We got some coins donated with private keys for the Cassius style coins donated with like a million pulse on each of them that we got to do some raffling. So we got some new Pulsicans that were excited about their raffle winnings. What else did we do? Had some kick-ass music. Some Hexicans, the MZG boys that they're twins. They do some killer DJing. They came down and made it real funky. And we had a bunch of, the conference itself there was 3 different conferences. We came together and sponsored the opening party for everybody. And then one of the conferences, Limitless, we had a part of, sponsoring. And so for that, Coffee and I also got up on stage and did a talk on the demo day that they had for a digital sovereignty summit. They kind of covered everything that has to do with digital sovereignty. So we talked about, we didn't just show Pulse, we did, but we also talked about the importance of, the importance of what is decentralization as far as, why Pulse, how you can actually download the software and run it yourself. So we showed everyone a demo on downloading and running the software for PulseX, for Pulse Bridge, and then as well, we also showed everyone that was there. There was quite a few people from other communities as well, Ethereum, folks. So we showed for all the people who knew what they were doing, we showed them, hey, go punch in your wallet address here. You might have some free money there. Because at the time, everything had been pretty, all the P copies were doing very well. So, it's cool to be able to shill $2,000 fake Bitcoin. That was neat.
Shill the top.
Oh yeah, shilled it hard. I said, I probably helped create it. There were some people in there that were like, oh, I got some free money there. Let me go and let me write this down real quick. So
Nice.
So they might have come out to play the dump game, which is just fine. Just fine.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was get them involved however we can. So we did that. We also had some, as far as my impressiveness, as far as what I was most impressed about is that we had a bunch of Bitcoiners. There's some old school Bitcoiners here that have been down here for a long time, longer than I've been down here.
Yeah.
And they came out to the party. And not only did they come out to the party, but they had nothing but nice things to say. They even
Yeah, that was my
went-
question. Has the sentiment
Nice.
changed? Do you think they're now
Yes.
more accepting
Yes.
towards us? We're no longer like the black sheep of the whole crypto space.
I mean, we're still the black
still,
sheep, but in
huh?
a more fun way. In a more fun way. Like
We've
like,
always been
after
fun.
after we did the digital sovereignty summit, like there was a couple cats that came, like they had pizza in the back, and so we're all, the Hexkins took over the pizza table pretty quick, and they all come
Right.
in and they're all like, "Oh my god, pizza and Hexicans! This is great!" So like there's some good attitudes, and like I said, I had several people, Bitcoiners, come up to me at the pig roast and tell me, like, hey, I would have never interacted with this with y'all ever. In fact, I have stayed as far the fuck away from you as possible. And like, I was surprised that I wanted to come out to this. And then when I did, it was a surprise at how awesome everybody is. And so like, some good minds to be moving there, some people that we would like to be, winning with,
Right.
so that was really awesome as well. I mean, that's definitely, even the promoters of each of the events, like the ones that we sponsored, they had no ill will. They were happy to put our banner up on the screen, for talks and stuff. They were happy to have our information around, and they're fine taking our money too, So like all that was great, like I think that at the end, there was nobody that like, nobody that got in the way of any of us making progress. And in fact, a lot of people that were very excited about it. I met a bunch of Hex Pulse people that came out to the party that are, they're very, that are, wouldn't call themselves Pulsicans. This is just an investment for them. They've got a lot of things that they're doing, but they came out to enjoy themselves still and see what the community was all about, and left with a very nice taste in their mouth.
Good.
Mostly
The
pork-based
taste,
products,
the taste of
but-
pork. Yes, exactly.
Yes, mostly
With garlic.
pork-based products. Yes, but nonetheless, happy all around. Everybody had a great time.
Yeah.
And then I had ginger ale buses take a bunch of cats there and take everyone to the other parties and the places that they wanted to go to that night, because there was a couple other things that were going on,
Right.
Satoshi Speakeasy and stuff, and other cool events. So it was a fun event all around. I think that the Blockchain Week is talking about doing something earlier next year this time. So I think that they might even do something in like February, March. And if they do, then I'll probably throw another little event, because like I part of my event throwing prowess is that I, instead of just buying backline for what we needed for a lot of the stuff, I just bought, or like instead of just renting backline, I just bought most of the equipment that we need. So now when we want to throw other events, I've got all the catering stuff that we need, all the the XDJs and speakers and all the rest, everything else. So it makes it a lot easier to do. So I'm hoping for more fun stuff in the future.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because when we met in London, at the 2-year Hex anniversary, when there we spoke briefly, and then you told me that you're really into this, organizing these kind of parties, and that's one of your pleasures, to be more in the background, sort of being the organizer of these things. And you've thrown Vegas, penthouse parties, and also the big event in Chicago. We had that in the intro, that a little sequence when you threw that first baseball. How do you actually? How do you get to throw that pitch? Do you have to like buy this, or is it you have to know the right people? How does this happen?
I mean, it's a lot of, you got to know the right people and stuff. But then honestly, this one was like a once. So I've never heard of them doing this, but they did this one year. That particular year, the MLB was foraying into some NFT, add-on thing, and so they did an NFT charity auction where they're allowing you to buy the first, to buy an NFT that would get you the first pitch, to get to throw out the first pitch in a game. And like they haven't ever offered that. They haven't ever offered that before. They still haven't offered it yet. Like it's not like a yearly thing they're doing. There's like
so it was in fact a crypto related thing with the NFT.
Yeah.
And today that very same NFT is worth
probably nothing.
Yay.
I wasn't doing it to buy the NFT. I was doing it to throw out the first pitch. I mean, I was happy to donate some money to charity and all that. But my mom's worked for a nonprofit in Chicago for like her whole life, until Hex came along, and now she does my books. but 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 when the kid who like the nonprofit people, they're like super billionaires, and their kid does a charity, runs a charity himself that in coordination with the Cubs, and like he's never been asked to throw out the first pitch. So like I'm not saying it's like that nobody gets to, but like it's still pretty awesome. I don't know anybody else myself that like personally that's gotten to. So I was pretty idea. And then to be able to win the auction, to get it, was like awesome. I mean, it was super cool. I mean, to throw a fun event and have we had, between my friends, family, Hexicans, all the rest, we had probably 100 people come out to that, plus, to come out to be a part of that, which is awesome. I mean, like that was super fun in all of itself. So yeah, we get to throw it. We've done some really cool parties, and that's what I mean, in some previous life, I used to work for music festivals, doing artist relations, hospitality, and stuff. And in doing that, my favorite people to I really enjoyed throwing the little parties, like the after parties for the staff and for the crew and for people who are making it happen. So
Awesome.
So whenever I get a chance to put together something fun like that, some part of me wants to real bad. I haven't done it I stopped doing festivals probably, I don't know, 7 years. I still go and enjoy myself, but as far as putting them all on, stopped doing that a while ago. But right about when I started mining, actually, it's pretty funny. Right about then was when I stopped doing festivals. I mean, it just wasn't any money. It's a lot of fun, but there's not that much money in it. You know what I'm saying?
The amount of venereal disease is a lot less now than it was.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. They've fixed some of that stuff.
Some
of it. This is a different clientele.
But
yeah. So anyways, I love having a chance to throw events and put them on. And when I saw when we all some of us started talking to the conference promoters about maybe having some kind of presence there, I was like, oh, this is a no brainer for us to do one of the the evening events. Sounded great. And it's a lot more cost effective to throw a party like that then I feel like, at least me personally, then you spend $25,000 on some sponsorship to get somebody on stage to talk about something for 10 or 20 minutes or whatever, and nobody remembers that stuff. Barely anybody cares. Like the real deals are made, so to say, on the golf course. So in the same way, the real the way you win the hearts and minds of people is by showing them a good time more than anything.
But
nice.
that's another example of, because I just had this breaking news before the show that the SEC is preparing for government shutdown, so we're not too sad about that one if that was happening for the next 3-4 weeks. But of course, Hexo is floating this idea at the moment that he received another batch of subpoenas, and also that's another example of how Hexicans really volunteer, to do this stuff and to do the marketing and the promotion, and nobody's getting paid to throw these events. On the contrary, it costs money to do that, and that's all grassroots community funded, really,
Yeah,
by the way,
exactly. And I had a lot of questions about that, when we were doing the event from other crypto people that weren't involved with Pulse or Hex at all. That were like, they're like, oh, so you're involved with the company, and I'm like,
yeah.
There's no fucking company.
Exactly.
yeah. So explaining that to people, it's like, no, it's just a few of us. I had the idea. I was like, hey,
nobody believes that.
$1,000 or $2.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Then here's the party.
They'll understand. By the way, there's a little silver lining onto that SEC thing as well. I've been, furrowed brow with beads of sweat on my temples, waiting for whether or not this year would also get the voting in of the potential confirmation of the commissioner that hates crypto. And that would have been a thorn in our side had it made the docket in this last Congress. But it didn't, and we're done, and she ain't gonna be back, so suck it!
Yes.
Fantastic. We got a new SEC chair, possibly.
We've arrived, so let me give me 5 minutes to go and switch to my studio stuff, and then let's do this.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Take your time.
my love.
We'll be
See you
here
in a bit. Yeah, did you call me my love? Awesome. I love you too.
Milady. Wow, that's BK.
Hey, man. No more gloom and doom. Let's leave it all in 2024, shall we? Let's just put that all, wrap it up in a box. Just consider this dip part of the past. And as the clock strikes 12:01 on the 2024 thing, it's done and it's over, and all the shit's back in the past. Can I give a quick public service announcement to the people that are watching?
On hardware wallets?
No,
Always.
on tax reporting in the United States, just a little something that you should keep track of. This is not tax advice.
Yes, go for it.
But understand that there was a little thing snuck into the tax code for crypto, specifically in 2024 in July, I believe it passed. Nobody really understood what it was, and nobody paid it any mind until just like the last 3 days. A bunch of tax professionals are weighing in now that you should research, at least on YouTube, look at some of the videos that talk about the safe harbor note that you have to write to yourself before the stroke of midnight and sign it, and have that tucked away with proof that you did it, maybe digitally signing, you've got the date, timestamp, everything you can produce in case the IRS comes to you and wants to audit, because we're moving on to, I haven't unpacked it all, but it's no longer lump reporting for your cost basis and your gains for all of your crypto assets. It's now on a per wallet basis. So what does that mean? Don't freak out. Just understand that you have to have that little piece of paper that you've understood, and you're electing for the new accounting regulations with the safe harbor note. And it's a regulation. Again, they didn't publicize it effectively, but that doesn't stop the law from clamping down on you and auditing you in a big bad way to the beginning of time, by the way, if they so choose. Also, first in, first out is the default method of accounting now. So you can't just hunt and pick and choose, unless at the time in 25 that you dispose of your asset, you have to declare which accounting scheme you're going for. If it's not FIFO, and it can only be, I believe, specific ID, which is one that I recommend. But that's the public service announcement. We don't know everything about it yet, but for God's sake, you don't have to worry about this shit, DJ Kryptonite, because you're a damn
but we have
German
the first
dude.
in, first out too, but it's in our favor because
yes,
we have the 1 year holding time,
yes,
and then
no
for us
taxes.
it makes sense that you say, oh no, this was a Bitcoin that I bought 4 years ago, when in fact it was one that I just bought last week. But to the tax authorities, I can say it's an old one, and you just have to keep track of all your transactions. That's very important.
But specific ID or HIFO, highest in, first out, can help Americans sometimes. It's good to have the wiggle room, because specific ID assumes that it's an inventory accounting rule that can apply to anybody. And you can pick something off the shelf that you sold, then you go back into your ledger and you find which lot was sold at the best price with the least tax implications, and you combine them, and then you say that's one transaction. But you can't do that unless you do this safe harbor. And if you don't do it by the stroke of midnight in 2024, you may be locked into FIFO, which is first in, first out, which may not be advantageous to you when it comes to saving your taxes. Also, your tax cost basis is now per wallet. So if you buy some asset on wallet A and you have another lot on wallet B, and you sell there, and you say, oh, it's fine, I'm just tax harvesting against my entire amount. Nope, it's strictly in that specific wallet. So now there's also maybe a case can be made, although it's not the security level that I've been discussing with people and what I subscribe to myself, aggregating to a single wallet before dumping. And I'll say it here for the first time. First time you heard it, DJ, this is a new coin phrase. Your crypto dump wallet, your dump or dumping or dumper wallet, I'm going to trademark all three of those. That's where you aggregate all of your goodies that you intend to dump in that year. Send them all there, because there's still no tax event when you send one wallet to another, right? And by the way, this is all not official tax advice. You got to run this by your CPA.
Yes.
I am not a CPA,
No.
but I'm just reading up on this, and I'm not really well informed, having just
What
found out
are
about
you?
this stuff. I'm just an old fucking dork, okay?
An old
If
dork.
you want dork advice, here it is. If you go to a court of law and you're trying to sue me and say, I took financial advice from that man, can you please point him out for the court? There he is. What's his name? Papa Boner.
Papa Boner.
Yeah, I'm sure
That guy's
everyone
neat.
in Crypto would laugh. Hey, overmodulation.
That guy's an old dork. That's for sure. Then how?
Thank you. You're too hot, Mr. Microphone. Turn that down. Your gain is really high.
Yeah, it's a bit hot.
Is it? Sorry.
Look at you. Yeah, look at you. Putting
Coming
on
in
shows and sounding like.
Is that a little better there?
Yes.
Oh, better. Yes, very nice.
Very good.
And so now, can we have a New Year's toke on the show? Are you ready or no?
Oh yeah, for sure. Let me go to my fridge here. My weed fridge.
You got it in your fridge. Is it exactly 60 degrees Fahrenheit?
Well, it depends. I've got the herb that I like to keep that in the freezer. But then I like to keep my oils, my essential oils and concentrates in the fridge. I find that they last longer in there.
Now, herb in the
They
freezer, I thought that was a problem for the terpenes because the terpenes will be intact, but the actual trichomes will fall off, and they'll
if you agitate it. So like when I like to keep I'll have a bag out of something in a jar that I'm working on right now. Whatever we're smoking at the current, and then whatever's in the freezer is just I have a separate freezer that I don't mess with stuff until I'm taking it out. And then you're right. And then take out just what we need, leave the rest because it'll last a lot longer in there. And I don't smoke herb as much as I do concentrates. So I just don't go through very as much. But
in terms of concentration, so you're going to be doing concentrate. I'll be doing concentrate as well. And let's have our New Year's toke when you're ready, sir.
Oh yes. All right. Yes.
You got your dab appliance because
I do. I'm choosing the Puffco Peak today. It's the Peak Pro. It's got Bluetooth accessibility. You can set the temp just how you want it. Real neat little device.
And I'll be enjoying a live resin concoction of
nice.
Yes.
Fantastic. This is also a live resin too.
Nice. All right, we're brothers.
It's not turning into what the heck steak and bake.
Right, ladies and gentlemen. With no further ado, are you ready, BigKurkowski, to have a?
Yes, it is. It's currently warming up. So once this little thing vibrates again, once it goes, then we're ready to go. It's pulsing right now. It
reminds me of the days of sex ed in high school.
Yes. There we go. That's their little.
You're ready to go.
We're ready.
All right.
Right. If these two guys now start giggling all of a sudden over jokes that are not funny, then it has worked.
It's true.
Okay. The chart looks so much better now.
So let's talk about that tax advice again.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. No, I don't. I try not to foray into the tax advice. I mostly just tell people I do it differently.
Yeah, you do.
That's good.
PR is different. Yep.
Well, here's a chart. I mean, if we zoom in on the Bitcoin, it's not too crazy, but still, it's like a 15 to 18% correction now. I think if Ethereum, this is like my Degen trading battle station here. Ethereum dropped a lot harder, but also bounced back nicely off the 50 moving average. But still, the moving averages are perfectly aligned. And that's what I wanted to say earlier, is that if we look at Wall Street, the Dow Jones, this corrected way harder than Bitcoin and ETH. Look at this red giant dildo of a candle here. If we zoom enhance.
Yep.
That's like a crypto chart, but this is in fact the Dow Jones. So,
nice.
So that's what happened last night, and it's now safe to say that we are somewhat correlated, I guess, with all these ETFs, and it's more that they dragged us down with it, I would say.
I would say that the common thread is on the cusp of a new administration with a lot of expectations, but the Jay Powell discussion, and there's Toby without a camera and without a microphone.
And no
I'm
microphone.
here, I'm here.
It's the way we
He's
like it.
here.
I'm
He's
here.
here. He heard the charts get brought up and said,
Yeah, exactly.
Have no
Charts.
fear,
Well,
I am here.
every time. Do you notice that every time? It's like clockwork. What's up, Big K? Every time I'm on, it's in the last 15 minutes of the show, and I'll be damned, in the last 16 minute, DJ will bring up his own charts. It's like, wait, what am I chopping liver? I thought I was the PA guy for the show.
Well, we're nothing if not respectful to each other. So there you go.
So
But
hold
Toby,
on to
I
your
prefer
hats.
yours.
But
to be
I think
honest.
it's not looking too terrible here. I mean,
It's all
that's
all
all right.
context.
Before we go into more sharding and stuff, I had one final question in my list of questions to Big K. You being this miner guy, yeah? So back in the days when we're talking now real gold mining, like Alaska gold rush, they always say that the people who really got rich are the guys who sold the shovels and the hotels who provided the accommodation. Yeah?
And the whorehouses.
And
Whorehouse got
very
everything
important,
as usual.
syphilis,
Yeah.
all that. And I wanted to make that transition now. I could see, because NVIDIA is now getting a little bit of trouble with all their selling the graphics cards in 2017 and 2018. And their investors are now sort of countersuing that this all didn't really live up to expectations. But back then, graphic cards and all that, the ant miners, those were all selling at high prices. So I think that is a fair analogy. But how do you see this today, or do you see this completely different? Like, who is the shovel salesman of 2024?
It's interesting. It's like as far as mining goes, the for sure the people making the miners, for sure. Like, I mean, the mining companies are making a ton of money off of selling these things at insanely high valuations. That's part of the game. I mean, I know they're spending a lot to build them, but they definitely bank the hardest. That's been since the get-go, though. I feel like I would say, actually not since the very get-go. The people who were very first into mining, like the OG, first ones that made an FPGA for Bitcoin, first ones that made it. Actually, it's a funny story. They're Hexicans. They're Pulsicans. The guys who, this is correct. So not only are they Pulsicans, but they were down. I met one of the gentlemen recently in Puerto Rico. He came down, helped us with the blockchain week stuff. Has like a crazy past. And did a talk and came on stage and did a talk right before Coffee and I did for the tech demo day, and was talking about security. And this is for something for you probably you'll care about, that I was interested in, is he was talking all about why the wallet, he was speaking about a specific wallet that he left me with here, the BitFi wallet. I don't know and how the BitFi wallet actually has several advantages to your Trezors and Ledgers because of the ability. There's apparently devices that are out there in the world that have had Trezors and Ledgers relatively government hackable. They are able to, without passphrases, they're super easy to get into. And how the unique thing about these apparently is that they don't actually even hold your private key on them. I was really interested in his talk that he did. It's a wild thing where it uses like a salt phrase. So you have your passphrase and then you have a salt passphrase as well. So you have to remember two passphrases to make it so that you can rebuild your private key without actually keeping it on the device. It's super
Very
unique.
cool.
I mean,
Very cool.
I was, and then the device itself, this like BitFi 2 wallet, as opposed to the one, is all encased in this liquid
Yeah.
like resin stuff. So
Right.
like
The chipset is resinized, right?
so like you cannot, like, they've had people. This was the wallet that like McAfee was, a huge fan of, and like put a $100,000, or I think it ended up being, he increased it to like 500,000 or something like that. If anyone would ever be able to hack it, and like people flew out there and whatever and try, and like no one was ever able to. So it was super interesting and enlightening talk that he did. And then on top of that, to find out that he was involved, he's Hexakin is known, and then it was involved with Butterfly Labs, like, which was one of the early. They were one of the companies that they created the first Bitcoin, ASICs, and then got had government up their ass because of it, So like that's a whole other story. So like, but in that scope of time, nonetheless, the miners. Most of the miners that are at the end level that aren't institutional grade, have had some serious, insane pain points along the way, and like, I'm not saying that the mining companies haven't either. They've gone through, there's a history to, whether it be Bitmain or Canon or what's one of the other, there's like a third big one that's like escaping me now, that have like been making these miners, and they've been their own level of cutthroat corporate enterprise on the way up as well. But they definitely have netted more profit overall than what you can say any single institutional grade mining company has done.
Right.
Even.
But there were
like,
also
even
like lots of shenanigans in 2017, 18. I know a friend of mine here in Germany, he
tons.
Ordered like 50 of these units to mine Litecoin at the time. And
they came probably used. They probably looked like they were used.
They came super late when the price was already down, but he had to pay top dollar during the bull run in advance to even get them, and then they came like 3-4 months too late. So that was an absolute financial disaster for him.
Super disaster. I mean, that was where I got bit the hardest myself. Was like, I did very well with GPU mining, like with mining GPU coins, and being like, I was super aware of what's the word for it? The Bitcoin Talk forums. They would, like, when there was releases, I had alerts set up so that, like, if there was new coins that came out, I was one of the first people mining these coins.
Before the difficulty went up.
And if you could do pretty decent with that, then like, sure, you'd mine fart coin and cheese coin and nice. Stripper coin and whatever fucking an ultimatum coin or whatever the fuck coins that are out there. Like, there's just be so many dumb things that I'd try and mine, so like I'd end up with a lot of lost energy or energy bills because, I was super speculative. I would like as degen as fucking possible, and so like sometimes you would hit, some kick-ass 10x on those coins, and sometimes and 6 out of 10 times you wouldn't. So it's a bad.
But the times have changed. Like, I think now this mining in your bedroom stuff is no longer really a thing because the difficulty is too high and everything. So would it be fair to say that
if you have a way to get like cheap, or you have excess energy, like if you have a big solar array that you're making a bunch of extra
free energy.
If you have some way that you can get free electricity, then there's always something that it's profitable to be able to do some proof of work mining. I mean, that's what I've seen. But you can still, like, even a high-end graphics card right now, you can still make a couple dollars a day mining. And so, like, again, if it's totally free, sure, by all means, go for it. But
then it's fair to say that the shovel salesman of this cycle is probably the centralized exchanges and the hardware wallet manufacturers and the DEXs with the trading fees.
I mean, anybody who can create a product that people are going to use. That's where it's at. And like nowadays, you're right. There's 2 layers to that. There's software and there's hardware, and like there's hardware is hard, like really hard. Like I watched a video, I watched a talk at that, like right before our talk was a talk on hardware, and they were talking about the minimum cost of entry to like create a fucking device, period.
No,
you know, and,
no,
and like,
no.
I mean, you're talking like mid-range six figures just to like to have a fart in the wind's chance of like creating something that's
Big
decent
K,
and like
Big K.
Yeah.
What because of that, what we see is that a lot of these startups that want to get into the big bucks to compete with the, you know, they see $100 million industry and they're just starting off with a $2 million investment. You know, they don't know what the fuck to do, so they masquerade by going to like Shenzhen or Guangzhou and they get prototypes made. Then they find another chassis, slap it together for widget control, you know, configuration with a touch screen, whatever the hell you're making, and then you release it into the market as if it's a quality product out of the gate, and you don't really care about things. So there's lots of different choices out there, lots of money to be made, but not a lot of quality coming out because, like you're saying, for hardware, the price of entry is way high for R&D and slippage and injection molding and soldering and all that, and QA and RMAs, all that shit is really fucking hard. So somebody said to me, why doesn't Richard Hart make a hardware wallet? And I said, he'd have a hole in his fucking head to do that.
Yeah,
it's the dumbest thing in the world.
It's an insane idea to get involved in. Like the fact that I didn't know more, or like I forgot all about this, like because like I know a good amount about what hardware wallets are available, and so like now I like the fact that I found a product magically that I'd never like, and it's not even that like it's a pretty known product.
Can I see that box? Can I see the box and close up? This is version 2, you said.
Yeah,
and
the
is this
one.
It's a little is it a little square one?
Yeah, it's got its own like screen on it, and it like connects up, and it's super unique. I mean, like the biggest negative of it, if you wanted to have one, is that it uses Wi-Fi, and they're like, and like somebody could, you know, but like everything fucking uses Wi-Fi.
No, the version then this may not be the provider that I thought. I evaluated the version 2 of this perhaps this
you
one.
might be able to connect it to
it did not have
wire.
It didn't have Wi-Fi.
Well, this one has this one does have Wi-Fi, and like that's one thing that like out of all the negatives, like I mean, that you possibly could have is that, you know, now.
Oh no, fuck that. No, disable that. Hey, question is, and that also begs a question: does it have a battery on board? But I want to know: does version 1, is it a black box with no screen at all?
I think so. I think so.
It's like a little. It's like a little. It looks like a thumb drive. It's a little stick. It's square. It has no. It has not. Then this is perhaps the only company that I thought, from attending sessions with them and stuff, that I thought was a contender for a top spot with Ledger and Trezor. This is the only one, and because, however, they're really poorly funded, which is a little bit of a problem. Right.
Yeah, it's a nice piece of hardware, but like, yeah, I'm sure that
everything's nice about that. Yeah.
But it's not marketed super well, you know. So,
no. That's it. Then it is the same company. But this one really deserves a second look. If you're in the market for a hardware wallet, like a third one, you want to take a look at another technology. Yes, this is the one.
Anywho, so that was so the long and short of it is, I think that you make about a good point on the like. I'll give I'll for sure say that those are probably the best. Anyone who's making a product that somebody's going to use that is netting a fee somewhere along the way. If it's on the software side, that's, there's all sorts of DeFi stuff. You have a choice on what you're choosing to click buttons on. So like, be aware that like those people are probably getting a fee somewhere, and like you make sure that, you're cool with that and what it is. That's all.
Awesome.
Right.
Toby is a little bit pressed for time, but Toby, do we have to check with legal first, or can we talk about the highest of stakes documentary? I mean, since we got Big K, the executive, you both.
My knuckles are still swollen from the last time I spoke about it.
I know. Or do we better
the
not?
Wraps on the knuckles from Patrick with the ruler. Because oddly, he was wearing a habit. I wasn't expecting that part. But
I don't think we have any real news at the moment.
So there's no new,
Like we need to have some sort of, I'd really love to see. I'm patiently waiting this judge's next maneuver.
Right.
So let's all hope that she has a lovely holiday.
Auntie Carol, all the best.
Nice presents under the tree.
Yeah, nice presents.
grandkids, the kids, everyone's in good spirits.
Nice.
Enjoy yourself. You know, we look very forward to
Take your time.
very forward to your opinion.
You want
piece.
anything, dear? A hot cup of
Yeah.
cocoa, perhaps? A foot massage. Big K gives those really well.
If you have. Anyways,
you're also in that camp that this thing has to get out of. Yes, it has to go out of the way first for.
I think that would be best.
All right,
I mean, like I think that it would be best
to come back. Yes.
Yeah, I think that because then we can have some content that like is worth showing. Right? Right now we'll just me biting my nails.
But it must have been crazy for you to relive those early years. When they recreated the basement where you had the mining rigs and was soldering
wild.
Stuff.
Super wild. It's just so weird because like when we did the movie, we had just finished like tearing it all out. So like it was
right.
Like, Patrick's
so
like, hey, you still got all that? And I was like, no.
It wasn't the actual house.
Like 3 months
This
ago,
wasn't like a studio thing.
No, it was a studio, and I took my daughter out there, and she's sitting there. There's a whole team of people that are like, hey, she's sitting on the couch in the fake basement, and they're like, is it like your grandma's? And she's like, nope.
That's awesome.
Can you describe it?
It was funny. She watched the for sure. No, they nailed it. Like that's the funny thing is like they even like picked out the sticker in the window that they saw. Like somehow there was somewhere that like they forgot right. Like there's little things that they got very very right. So I appreciate I thought it was awesome, and my daughter thought it looked way better in post too. Like when she saw it on the film, she was like, "It doesn't look it looks like it. Yeah. It looks like a movie set when you're sitting on it." They're actually like, enough about
the set, sir. You made that was the high point of the movie for me. Was your candid little interview. It was so very much what I wanted to show people and showcase about the community. And you summed it all up, and just your character in real life and on as you've portrayed on film was a delightful, refreshing, happy type of thing to see on fucking screen. The rest of it was such a we've lived through it. It's a little bit of a cringe moment here or there, and yet it's a struggle, right? It's a good struggle. It's if you're calling anything the star of the show for the highest of stakes, it was the struggle and the tension and the railing against things that opposing issues and forces. But yours provided a little bit of levity, which was so nice. It's like the chocolate in the coffee. It's nice.
It just I found it relatable because it's like, especially when you were talking about the early days when you had found Richard Hart and I believe he blocked you or something, and you're like, fuck this guy, and it's just like it felt.
I blocked him. I didn't even.
You blocked him.
Oh right, you blocked him because you were pissed off. Right. And it's and then you came around, but it's like all that whole explanation was like, it's like that totally makes sense. I can resonate with that. It's like I've had that arc of feelings as well. So it's like you were, and then some of the stuff you said and did were like some of the funniest bits in the movie. And your grandma, God, it's like she's so freaking adorable. It's like I just want to pick her up and like put her in my pocket and like carry her around forever. She's so sweet, So it's like. Yeah, you were definitely a highlight of the movie for me as well. And who knows? And to answer your question, DJ, what the new year could hold. Hopefully Auntie Carol is feeling very focused and brings a good decision, and that will open up some.
Big case. Speaking of resonate, would you care to have another hit?
Papa, you already look super high. So
this is not.
That's not your piccolo. That's not that little baby bong you hit. That's the concentrate, bro. Go easy. You're old now.
I go the juicy cubes or the kosher Skittles.
Did you say kosher Skittles?
Well, while Cheech and Chong are reloading their bongs, we can jump into the TA. So
Happy New Year!
It's hilarious actually because
Merry Christmas.
I'm all hopped up on the Tommy Chong CBD good vibes.
What the heck?
But yeah, so yeah, this is I do the zoomed out chart on EHEX, the one and only, the original, the baby boy, the firstborn of Richard Hart, EHEX, to show the all-time high all the way back here in September of 21. This descending white channel that we've been in ever since. So
Yeah,
over
good
3
times.
years now, 3+ years. And we've got this channel that we're working up. As you might recall from previous streams, I've got this fractal. That fractal is from June of 2020 to September of 2021 to get an idea of like, okay, well, what's that look like here? And it's been remarkably accurate. As we zoom in here, you'll see we're kind of falling out of it a little bit, but really not too badly. And quite frankly, I'd be happy to not follow it exactly, because as you can see here, and I'll brighten it up so you can see the fractal that I'm talking about within the channel. I mean, we've followed it pretty dead nuts. I mean, all the way up to the top here and even rolling over a bit. If we were to follow it more exactly as we have so far, you're going to be looking at what kind of percentage pullback is that? From here on EHEX, you'd be looking at about another 22%, 21% drop. Wow. So, you know, but that's fractals, right? And fractals are woo-woo. That's like, you know, astrology on top of tarot cards. It's just, you know, a little out there. However, it's been remarkably accurate thus far. So I'm more interested in the channel that it's in. The channel seems to be playing out very, very nicely. And we've bounced off the top multiple times. We've worked our way back down. We've wicked down, not all the way down to the 21 EMA, but we are right here at the 100 EMA. So we're wicking off of that and bouncing back up, showing some support. What's unique about the EHEX chart, and we talked about this last week a bit, was BankX. BankX has been doing some huge dumping. I don't know if they're doing any today. I know they kind of pumped the brakes at 221 million EHEX left.
I think the 200 million, that's like their moon bag.
That was
they
all
keep that.
over. Yeah, this was all in these last few candles. You know, these are 3-day candles. So yeah, about the last 3 or 4 candles is where all that dumping was happening. We held up remarkably well. So, you know, we've rolled over a bit. I think that's more indicative, not necessarily of them, but of the broader markets, as DJ had pointed out earlier. You know, everything's going down, right? It's a bloodbath across everything. And I would tell everybody to relax. It's a cycle. This time is not different. You know, it's like, it's just not. So it's a 4-year cycle. We're waiting on the inauguration. We're going to see what happens with Bitcoin, see if we can push out of its channel. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And then, you know, after Bitcoin does its thing, usually about a month later, Ethereum will do its peak. Hold on. Ethereum will do its peak. And then, easy, Stoney. Then so Ethereum will peak about a month later. Once it rolls over, you know, historically alt season kind of shoots its shot. So we're a ways out. It's like I wouldn't lament the red days too much yet. If by next summer we haven't made some significant moves, cry yourself to sleep, and I will not complain about your crying. Moving right along, going over to Pulsechain.
Toby, you got a chat thing that came up on the screen. Did you take notice of it?
I did not, because I've got 3 minutes.
But this comment, this
comment.
It's like
this
already
comment
peaked,
here
give me
is-
top signals, bear market income. Yeah, exactly. This, I'm sorry, Kirby, you're wrong.
Exactly.
So
this is from somebody who's never been here, is like a professional fudster. That's the kind of people.
Well, whatever.
who
I
come
love
into
Kirby.
these
I love the
chats.
name.
It's gotta be a
Wasn't
joke.
that the little
No, it's not a
VW
joke.
in the
This
Disney
is-
movies? Kirby Goes Bananas.
This is creating FUD, get you to sell. This is what that is. I smell
yeah,
that from
or-
10 yards away.
Or he could just be, you know, he could be one of those guys that's just beat down, sad sack. You know, he
Oh,
doesn't like
yes.
the prolonged bear cycle, and he's just feeling it. And, you
Oh,
know,
he
we've
wants
all
to
been there.
buy the dip.
Yeah. So, right. So I'd say everybody take a deep breath.
Exactly.
We're all gonna make it, right. Well, maybe not Kirby, but everybody else is going to make it. So, all right, moving along
Shout
to
out to
Pulsechain.
Kirby. Checks my pulse. What
Shout
up?
out to Kirby. God love you, bro.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. So as we can see here, we are in this ascending yellow parallel channel. We were trying to get over above it, and I marked the measured move here. We were retesting the top side of it last week, and we were hoping that we did not break back down into the channel. We have broken back down into the channel. This little yellow squiggle right here is the 21 EMA. We haven't quite pushed back that far, but that would take us all the way down to 4066. So, you know, it's a potential target on the dippy side. We could reverse here and get back above this top line on the channel and resume our upward slope. Hopefully that's the case, but I would not be too terribly disappointed if we tested the 21 EMA. If we broke down below that and started working our way to the bottom of the channel, then it would get a little dicey. And then, typically the trend's your friend. So if we break out of the bottom side, then, you're going to see some significant drops down, maybe even approaching all-time lows. I don't see that happening unless there's like a for real black swan event, but because it's been such a strong uptrend all the way since late August. So we'll see how it holds up. A little bit of pullback along the way is good. Consolidation and such, let the things cool off and build a new base. So moving right along, this is Pulse X. Similar situation. We're moving up a parallel channel, and that's in a broader descending channel. But we've made our way to the top of it and rejected. We came down through the midline last week. I was hoping we would kind of find support on the midline and work our way back to the top and maybe even break out of the broader channel, and had some crazy calls all the way up here at 34% above SAC. Right now, very similar moves to Pulsechain and everything else. We're pulling back. Haven't quite made it down to the 21 EMA. 21 EMA would get us down to about 40425. If we can find some support there and work our way back up, I think long-term that's bullish. If we break through that and get to the bottom side of the channel, same rules would dictate, then you'd be looking for potential continuation down to retest the lows. I don't necessarily see that happen. Once again, strong chart ever since late August, barring some black swan event. I think we will resume that after the short-term FUD is over with the broader markets.
Speaking of Black Swan, we get a super chat from Fast Abdul. Thank you for the 200,000 Vietnamese dong.
Dude, Fast Abdul is throwing that dong around everywhere.
Yes.
So,
You don't know where his dong has been.
Pause.
oh no, it's everywhere. Every time I see him on the stream, I see him flinging that dong around.
I have a lot
thank
of
you,
dong.
sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Papa, one more hit and he will totally take that dong. Okay, so all right, so we're doing the upward parallel channel on this isn't fair. Papa's stoned. I'm highly caffeinated. I feel bad. Like usually Papa can trounce me, and I got him. Look at him. He's
cloud nine on cloud nine right now.
I'm gonna have to eat a gummy to bring myself back down after all the. I got myself all hyped up like I normally do to compete with Papa, and then all of a sudden I got nothing. Where's my foil? Right?
Come on, hurry it up.
Okay, so right. I got 2 more minutes. All right, so basically, this is the HEX, the new HEX, the Pulse HEX, right? We were in a similar situation as we were with the others, where we were above the channel. We were hoping to kind of like find support on that and make a measured move up, maybe as high as 4 cents, and start approaching the all-time high of PHEX. Unfortunately, we actually definitively broke down into the channel and got a little bounce off the 21 EMA and eventually broke through that. Right now, we're bouncing off the 55 EMA and also the midline of that channel, which is that little blue, God, I don't know how you can see with all my little horizontals in there. But yeah, there's a diagonal line in the middle of the yellow channel. It's a blue dash line. That's the midline. So a lot of times you can see supports and resistance there as well. And we're right on that and the 55 EMA. So we're finding support at the moment. Hopefully we don't work our way on down here to the 100 EMA on the bottom of the channel, because that would be not great. But again, same exact shit I've said about all the other ones. We've had a really strong uptrend since late August. I think a healthy pullback makes sense. I mean, if you look at it, it's like, what do we do from down here in the beginning of September all the way up with 746%? I mean, come on. And what was that in 92 days? So not bad. Now we've pulled back and we've taken part of that move away. Now we're only up 500% in 103 days. So everybody, put it in perspective, relax. It's a dip. To me, it seems like a buying opportunity. Trend is your friend. Trend, in my opinion, is still up. Okay, then finally, the clown of the family, the one that everybody loves.
Oh,
and I think, right?
Ink fell out the channel.
He makes everybody smile. However, thanks, DJ, stepping on my punchline. Yeah, but he has fallen from grace. So the favorite son is now the nobody likes Ink at the moment.
Now your chart is wrecked.
Yeah, so we were working our way up. It was looking pretty solid, all the way back here from the breakout. I mean, way back. I mean, this is a daily. So, I mean, only in here in September. And like, if you noticed on the other ones from late September, we were pretty much straight up and then a correction. With Ink, it's played out a little differently. It's like we kind of came up, came back down through October, started working our way back up in the beginning of November, peaked out right at the beginning of December, and now we're working our way back down again. So I mean, this kind of oscillation, I think, is indicative of people doing with ink what it's kind of designed to do, which is like you earn it and you spend it, right? Like you buy other shit with it. It depends on what your portfolio logic is. For me, it's like I like earning it and keeping it and seeing what's going to happen with it. However, I have rotated some of it into EHEX or PHEX when it's been a good deal. So I think that's what we're kind of seeing with that price action. And people were looking to take profit on ink. Now, whether or not they're just sitting in stables or it doesn't to me look like they've rotated it into other RH tickers. To me, this indicates that either it suppressed the dips on the RH tokens a bit because some did rotate in, or we didn't see any benefit to the RH tickers because people that were selling ink either went to stables and did nothing with it, or maybe they were chasing shiny stuff, right? Maybe they were chasing the P-dye narrative that was real hot over the last few weeks. Maybe they're chasing Euro. So it's hard to say. Whatever the case, we came out of the channel, tried to get back in it, and it was like, nope. Rode along the top of the 21 EMA, and it was like, nope. Went down below it, bounced off the 55 EMA, tried to get back above the 21, and we're kind of ping-ponging between the two now. Technically, we're just below the 55 EMA. And, to me, it looks like we're working back down to the bottom side of this channel. So I'd say 240 ish is probably where I'd be looking at and for like a, gut check moment, like hold on and pray that we get some support there and can try to reverse this and start working our way back up. So, yeah. So, I mean, in a nutshell, I'm in a nutshell. Then that's it. Sir.
What about ETH?
The golf putt. Oh, ETH. Oh, actually, wait. I wanted to show one other thing that's kind of fun.
The S&P.
This is the HEX. Let's see. This is the HEX EHEX pair. And typically I don't show this, but I'm gonna because I find it interesting. So basically you invert the pair by doing what I just did there. You hit the little three dots and invert the pair. And then you change your denomination to USD to EHEX. And then you can see the chart of EHEX to PHEX. I think we might have looked at this last week. So it's interesting to me that it's worked its way back down. We're right now at about a 4.7 to 1 ratio, where we had been all the way up to like a 10.5 to 1. So interesting scenario there to see, which one breaks first. Just a little aside. And then if we want to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum real fast, Deej, let me do that for you. Let's see, that's over here. Let's do Bitcoin first because that's easy. And it's really telling because in its chart, there's also guess what it is? It's a channel because Toby loves fucking parallel channels. We've just nailed it, right? Like we came up to, what was it, 95,000, worked our way back down the channel at 88, came back up, ping pong, just nailing it. Came right here, and this big white line is the top of the broader white ascending parallel channel that's been going on since like 2012. We're trying to get through that. So that's strong resistance, and we've gotten a giant rejection right here. We're coming off the 10 SMA, I believe that's what the red line is. Yeah, the simple moving average. We're right at it now at 97.5. So we could see continuation lower. The measured move on that, I'll just eyeball it, would be taking us down probably around to the 21 EMA, which would get us down to right around 89.2. So, could see some support there and try to turn and work our way back up. We've got, a few more weeks until the inauguration. So I think that's kind of what some of the hesitancy is. How much damage can the existing administration do to things prior to exiting the building? So we'll see how it plays out, right? But just to give you a little bit of hopium on the Bitcoin side, if you look at this broader white ascending parallel channel, the measured move on that takes us up to about $185,000. And that breakout could start as early as inauguration day. Now, is it going to go straight there? Highly unlikely. But, sometimes these moves happen quick. So it would be not out of the realm of possibility that, we march into that direction, maybe hit the 180 mark around April, do something similar to what we did last cycle, pull back through the summer months and then do a double top and then maybe a blow off top to 240. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Last but not least for Papa is the Ethereum chart. I think Ethereum's looking really solid as far as its fractal. I did a similar. Whenever I say we, I just mean me and the voices in my head. So all of us in here. I did a fractal on that one too from the last cycle, and we put it on the chart like back here just for shits and gigs, and it's like, well, it looks like we should start working our way up, and it did not look hopeful because we were just riding the bottom of its channel, and then sure as shit we followed that fractal and it started working our way back up. Right now we're similar to the EHEX fractal. We're falling out of the fractal a bit. Or no, the EHEX fractal's fine. Yeah, skip that. Yeah, so basically we're falling out of the ETH fractal a bit. But, this is a 3-day, it's a 3-day chart. We've got 2.5 hours left. Crazier things have happened. If we can get back around the $3,700 mark, we're, honoring the fractal still. And then really the bigger thing is over the next 3 days to get back above 4,000. So if we could do that, then we're following that fractal and working our way to the top side of the channel. The measured move on that channel gets us up to about 13,000. Following the fractal from the previous cycle, like we've said before, we're looking at a double top. First, maybe in May, like in 2021, but this time it would be $20,000. And then, a dip through the summer and another, blow off top, kind of like what I'm saying for Bitcoin in October, November of 24,000. If Bitcoin hits 240,000, that would be a nice tidy 10-to-1 ratio between ETH and Bitcoin. So, yeah.
Wow.
So
And RH would have called the top way in advance.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll find out. So,
Awesome.
and it
Thank
could be
you
a
very
situation
much.
where the RH tokens peak in the middle, right? Because before in 21, it's like what happened? It's like Bitcoin, when he called his top, was in April. Our stuff, only HEX at the time, peaked in September. And then we got the second top, which beat his call by $600 or whatever, in November, right? So it could be that situation again, where as the Bitcoin rolls over and Ethereum rolls over, that's when we run. And to me, that kind of makes sense too, from like a strategic thing. Like we've talked before about him injecting capital at opportune times to kind of boost the chart. Well, if everything else is red, the floor is lava, and then the RH ecosystem is the best show in town. Yeah. Seems to me like would be good timing, and it would, surprise, play out exactly into the 4-year cycle narrative. So we'll see. I don't have a crystal ball, but it'll be fun to look back and see if it did indeed play out the same. It ain't different, bros.
History rhymes and repeats.
Right?
Yeah. BigKurkowski, any final words, anything you are especially excited about the community right now? Anything else you have on your mind before we leave our audience here for the holidays?
I don't know. I think that I like what a lot of what Toby said there. I'd love for
Sounds good.
Us to do those things. So let's see what the next year brings. I mean, I've been saying it for a while, for like a year now. I don't know who we had said coined that. I can't remember. Is it? But survive until 25. Like I think that it's
the mantra.
Yeah. It's a good. It could be a good year. Could be a real good year.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Very good. But thank you for being always around the community, for being a good sport, being supportive behind the scenes. I know you've always supported my DJ channel as well on Twitch almost since day one. So really thank you for all the support over the years. And also for just being you. You're not some asshole. You're always friendly.
You're our asshole.
And supportive.
Yeah, just the right kind of asshole.
Just
I'm
normal.
not claiming to be anything that I'm not, man. I'm just like here to, show my bags at the right time. And like I think that this is the right time. I think that there's, people have a good another, 6-8 months, of like time that we could get involved. They might do real well over the next, 6-8 months after that. But I mean, if we get real frothy and some of those moves you're talking, Toby, happen, then I might get a little more quiet. But I think that this is a good time for people to get involved.
Get involved then. That's
By
right.
the dip, right? By the dip.
Yeah. All right, it's been a hell of a year, you guys. Papa B, episode 99 in the can. We will be back in January on, let me just check my calendar of doom on...
After the 9th.
Yeah, exactly. The 16th will be the first show of 2025 on What the Hex. It will be episode 100. So we're out here on our own situation for 100 episodes now. That's quite
Awesome.
It's quite the task here for us every week,
Yeah.
but we love doing it. And again, thank you for joining us today, Big K. Also, Sandy Beach here with the ringing the bells. That's right. We do the Hexmas special, the DJ Christmas show for the Hex community is happening this Sunday. You know, it's an annual thing. We do this every year. This time around, I'm not doing it as big because so many, conflicts and fights have happened within the Hex community over the past year. I feel we are not that unified family anymore as we used to be in the early years, but it's tradition.
DJ, it's like
Still
good
gonna
Coke.
do it.
You get that on the scene, everybody loves each other again.
It's true. So we're still gonna do it because it's tradition, and we always have a Christmas show. And I know Richard Hart appreciates it. Like he sometimes I got the feeling he felt a bit lonely during the Christmas season away from his family. That's why he was also streaming a lot himself during the Christmas days. And of course he can't do it right now. So I want to keep that up. So next Sunday at 9 p.m. around this time, really 9 p.m. CET, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to do the good old Hexmas special on Twitch. And Papa B, are you joining as the Grinch?
Yes.
Or not? Papa B.
When was it?
Toby,
how
help
many
me out
months
here.
away is this? When are we going to do it?
Sunday.
Use your
Sunday,
words,
Sunday,
Papa.
Sunday.
Use
Sure,
your
that
words.
sounds great. Let's do it.
What the hex, you guys?
What the
Sunday,
heck?
What
Sunday
the heck,
service. Thanks
indeed.
everybody for tuning in. We got
Merry Christmas.
120
Thank you.
people
Thank
watching
you, everyone.
live. Smash
Thank
the
you.
likes. We see you in the new year.
Much love to
Bye-bye.
Richard Hart and his family.
Outro.